All right, so it's about a week after the initial install. Wanted to come in and check. We didn't get a chance to talk about the electrical that we ran, so let's give that a go. So this is the combiner box. The PD comes down through the combiner box, and all right, so from the PD, you've got 5 sets of black and red wires. They ran out of red, so there's a bunch more black than red, and it goes through here, and this is basically a pass-through. The only thing that happens here is the CT wires come back in through here. So all of these PV wires come through and go through the production coil here, and then head on down through the conduit, down and around, and come back, and they end up over in this box. So all of those pieces end up here, then they're available in the fusible disconnect, and they come into the gutter. I'll show you all that. All right, so we're back over here. The PV wires have come through here. Each 20 amp breaker picks up its own circuit. So we have 5 arrays on the property. It's actually more arrays, but they're combined into 5 sets of 9. This quad here gives us our surge protector and the control over to the controller unit, which we then come back and run back through the system and go over to the combiner box you saw earlier. So then out of this box, we have number 3 wires going through here over into our fusible disconnect. So now we're looking at the fusible disconnect. Just a simple in and out. We come in through the bottom and out through the top. And right now we're off. These are 90 amp fuses. You can see on the bottom of this chase there's 4 white wires. Those 4 white wires are the consumption coils that head over into the gutter box. We'll show you that in a minute. Alright, so when we started this project, we said the gutter box was pretty full. It's now even more full than it was before. We've got some side taps here which bring the power over into the main line. So this comes from the PV into effectively the meter. This black box here is our consumption coil. So we've got 2 of those buried in there. Here's the other one here. And these guys go over through the white wires here and back into this unit. So these are little ferrite devices intended to be basically a filter. We're having some issues with the noise coming through on the controller panel. So I thought I'd grab a couple of these, throw them on some of the lines coming through. I'm going to take the positive and negative in here and see if they'll both fit. I don't know if they will or not, but they do. One's down. So I'll put a couple in around through the PV as it's coming off. Hoping they fit. So now all the lines coming through the coil here have filters, and there's one set of filters on the power line going to the control board. Enphase will tell you that they communicate through 100 to 125 or 150 hertz. So I'm hoping these things ease that signal down in that area and allow us to pick up the signal on the inverters. What's happening now is the microinverters aren't reporting. So we've got about 37 of the 45 microinverters that are being able to be found by the system. Once we get this up and running, we'll see what happens. So we're going to do a real quick walkthrough of the system. You've got your Enphase box here. This is a dead box, except it passes through the coil at this point. PV goes through. There's no power in this box except to run the controller, which then talks back to Enphase, goes through the conduit and ends up over into a sub panel. You've got 5 breakers which control each one of the rays. The top left quad breaker controls the surge protector and the Enphase controller board, which is where all that power is passing through. And it comes up and out of here on 3 gauge over to the fusible breaker box, and then lands in some side taps to complete the project. 2 automatic transfer switches, no wiring impact to those at all, nothing on the split service on the other side, and very little on the meter work either. Great work.